Hi, I'm Sheree Coulter, Chief Communications Officer for the Danbury Institute. Our team has been closely tracking current events across the United States and around the world, and we're here with 6 stories you should know from this week. We begin with 2 stories regarding Israel, one of the leading news items now several weeks in a row. All Israel News reported just yesterday, May 8th, that the United States has paused a shipment of weapons to Israel and is threatening to withhold more assistance if Israel battles in Rafah, arguably a key part of what it will take to win the war against Hamas. This marks a significant change in the posture of the United States toward her ally Israel and has drawn intense criticism, with many calling it a quid pro quo stunt to aid re-election. Ironically, the same thing Democrats accused President Trump of doing, only, as Senator Tom Cotton said, with Biden, it's true. What happens next with Israel having already begun its offensive in Rafah and the United States threatening to withhold more weapons will most certainly dominate news reports in the next few days, and we'll be keeping a really close eye on that. Our second story pertains to Israel as well. Last week we told you about the protests that have turned violent and destructive across U.S. college campuses. Well, Congress has attempted to answer that problem with a significantly flawed solution in the form of the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. Writing for World, Dr. Albert Mohler, president of the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in Louisville, Kentucky, begins with this headline: "The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act is a big problem. Good intentions can produce bad legislation." This is one of those pieces of legislation where good intentions may be good, first of all, and the nomenclature of the bill's title sounds good, second of all, but the actual meat of the legislation is a disaster. As Mohler explains, free speech is directly threatened by the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, and that could even include the preaching of the gospel. As many have been clarifying this whole week, we must be able to condemn anti-Semitism without eroding First Amendment freedoms. Ryan Helfenbein of the Standing for Freedom Center also discussed this issue in a Here's the Point video this week, and that would be really helpful to watch to better understand this issue. Next, we look to the Washington Stand, which reports that the Boy Scouts have dropped boy from their name. They'll now be going by Scouting America. This has been a slow fade for the Scouts, who already began letting girls into the Boy Scouts 5 years ago. So it's no surprise to see the total erosion now of the differentiation between girls and boys. Family Research Council President Tony Perkins summarized this change the best this week, saying, quote, "The Boy Scouts should have considered the Cicada Scouts for their new name because they have become nothing more than a hollow shell of what they once were. The Boy Scouts," he says, "will now stand as a prophetic reminder of the cost of moral compromise." Indeed. Gender confusion is not getting by Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, though. This week, she signed an executive order defying recent Title IX changes from the Biden administration and directing schools to continue enforcing laws that prevent transgender students from using opposite-sex restrooms and locker rooms. And Arkansas is not alone. As reported in The Hill, more than a dozen states are suing over the new Title IX rules, and several states have announced that they will simply not comply. There is also news this week on the illegal immigration front. House Republicans unveiled this week the SAVE Act, aimed at preventing non-citizens from voting. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson explained that elections already have a razor-thin margin, and even if 1 out of every 100 illegal immigrants votes, it could change the outcome of the election. As Fox News reported, this legislation is designed to combat that. Finally, pro-life group Live Action released a man-on-the-street video this week showing their team seeking signatures from beachgoers for a petition to protect pre-born turtles. People were eager to sign. But when the Live Action team asked if they would be willing to sign a similar petition to protect pre-born human babies, many declined right away. What this demonstrates about our culture's refusal to protect the sanctity of life is sobering. We encourage you to watch this video, which we've included in this week's Life and Liberty Brief. In this week's brief, you will also see an article there from our Chief Operations Officer, Colin Hain, who wrote an insightful piece about the United Methodist Church's break from centuries of sound teaching to now embrace and welcome gay clergy. You won't want to miss this important piece as well. If you have not already signed up, please go and register to receive updates from our team each week. And if you have missed it, you can always find the articles on our articles page of the website at danburyinstitute.org.